Do you love to play Magic Online but have a tight budget? Check out Mtgo Academy's Academy Budget Bot in the Magic Online Classifieds. All cards in stock are cheaper than one event ticket.
Time for the finals. Let's play first. This looks fine. I'm not gonna mulligan this. 2 forests isn't exactly what I'm looking for, but I have a great curve and a death touch creature to protect me in the beginning. I'm also just gonna run it out. I think the previous games have shown that I really just want to get on the board because my late game is so powerful. And yeah, there's really no reason not to play the 2-drop here. I'm just gonna show no fear. This is game 1, so I don't know if there's any kind of spark jolts or deal 1 to each of your opponent's creatures, anger of the gods or whatnot. So I'm just gonna pretend that my opponent is not going to have any of that. Crackling Triton, that looks fine. I will attack here. I think this trade is a trade I would be happy to make. And now I get some extra information, and I also have a blocker for the Triton. It is only for 4, so I'm not getting my opponent's full hand here, but 4 cards is a high enough number that I know I'm getting something sweet. Oh wow, quite a lot of good cards here. So I'm not scared of the Ordeal because I have Baleful Eidolon and Lash of the Whip, so my opponent can keep that. I'm also not too concerned about the Dragon Mantles, also because of the Baleful Eidolon, most importantly. Sudden Storm is a card that's a lot less scary when you know that your opponent has it. So I might just want to take the Thunderbrood because it has the most potential. It also has Trample, so it's 5/5. There's a lot of reasons that make me not want to play against Thunderbrood. And now I will also find out what else my opponent was holding, but it could be that he just didn't want to show me lands. Because if I discard lands, then Thunderbrood is also quite a bit weaker. Fall of the Hammer, okay. I suppose it makes sense to get rid of my evasive card and do it when I'm tapped out. I'm just gonna use the Lash of the Whip. I know that my opponent has the Ordeal, but I have Furika's Cure, so some of the potential targets I can actually just kill. And I also have the option to hold back the Baleful Eidolon if needed. And Crackling Triton with the Dragon Mantle on it was actually not super powerful, but it was definitely not bad. I'm gonna put this on the Disciple because Baleful Eidolon trades with anything anyway, so I can diversify my threats a little bit. Clearly drawing Raised by Wolves here is phenomenal. Meaning that a Biden of Thassa activation is not going to punish me as harshly. At least that's the theory. Alright, that's a nice Dragon Mantle. So I actually can activate that, but I don't have red mana. Looks like my opponent is just missing creatures. Something that happens quite often in this format because you're playing so many spells. And that means this Biden of Thassa is looking really weak. Oh, another thing is that my opponent just wanted to draw into Sudden Storm mana. So quite the greedy play. If I see this correctly. My opponent was holding the Sudden Storm, but opts to... Okay, he has a Voyage's End, so I guess... The problem is, of course, that Sudden Storm only delays the inevitable. There isn't much reason to play out the Returned Phalanx, but if I draw a Grey Merchant, then I have a Black Devotion available. Yeah, the Ordeal of Perforos never really being relevant here. Oh, my opponent is doing a good job though of just killing everything I have. Down to 2 damage a turn now. Impetuous Sunchaser. That's pretty cool. I didn't kill it immediately. Maybe I should have. Drawing Erebus Emissary probably means I should have. So I think I still just bestow Erebus Emissary. The Sunchaser has to chump block. And I'm... Oh wait, this is... Yeah, this is actually quite bad because of the Sudden Storm. It's actually better to just cast the Erebus Emissary. Do I have Eureka's Cure though? Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, I should have Eureka's Cured at end of turn, I think. I thought I wasn't attacking for lethal, so it didn't matter, but overall I think it would have been a bit better. There weren't too many draws that would really punish me for it. But now I'm doing it like this because of the Sudden Storm. I want to be attacking. Alright, this was, I think, a bit too easy. The cards in my opponent's deck do look quite nice. But the two disciples are really pulling their worth, so yeah, I don't really have much to sideboard, I think. Most of what I have here is just worse than my main deck. And on the draw again. This looks solid. A Return Phalanx probably not the best card in this matchup, but like I've said, I don't really have cards on my sideboard. Would be for these matchups, it would be good to have something to deal with enchantments, just so that the Bident cannot take over the game on its own. Alright, this is interesting. I think that I hold back the Eidolon here. I can deal 1 damage, but there's Ordeal of Perforos to consider, and that would actually be quite the blowout. I don't even know if I want the Servant or if I want to Read the Bones first. I could also cast Return Phalanx. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the Servant. That makes the most sense because it's a blocker, so that I don't have to offer up my Baleful Eidolon. And I still have the protection from the Ordeal. Bloodtroll Harpy, I don't want. I really only want to draw lands here. This is what I need to win this game. And if my opponent wants to Sudden Storm this army of mine, I'm also very happy. Alright. An interesting dynamic here. My hand is so full, my opponent has 3 cards, so I'm just playing this very conservatively because I cannot really see myself losing if I do. Don't really know if I want the Servant back. Like, resolving Pharika's Mando is good, and a 4/3 is kind of what I want on this board, but Servant of Timurid is not the card that I want to consider for my late game strategy. I'm just gonna roll out the Keepsake Organ. I mean, there's rarely something wrong with a Keepsake Organ. Now I could actually attack for 1 here. My opponent now wants to take this trade, knowing that I have a Keepsake Organ. That's fine. It would have been better to attack first. Well, now, oh, this is interesting. No attack with the Triton. So my opponent is also taking it quite slow. Don't quite understand why though. Why would you not want the trade with the Gorgon? Doesn't make... I don't understand the reasoning. Well, my opponent wants the trade with the Gorgon, but he wants the trade on defense, which I'm not going to allow, of course. So, question is, Pharika's Mender, hold up Pharika's Cure. I can just cast Return Phalanx as well to block and have open Pharika's Cure. All of these don't really seem too appealing. Let's play this. And now the... Returning a creature here with the Mender, I really just want because it's going to power up the Emissary later on in the game, and it gives me a 4/3, which I'm willing to trade for my opponent's Triton. Could have played the land here first. I think that would have been better. just giving me the option to activate the Keepsake Gorgon. Which I wouldn't have done, I just want to have that available. And now I'm just gonna do it. I mean, if my opponent bounces the Keepsake Gorgon in response, I'm not losing much. Now, I expect the Baleful Eidolon to die, but I just have such a dominating board position that I can afford that. It's not like I'm scared to lose to, I don't know, a creature. I have the Sip of Hemlock ready, so really nothing to be concerned about. I'm not running out the Phalanx because I have the Emissary already, so I will be trying to, well, bestow that. It wasn't really necessary. My opponent just had to concede. And another really poor draw by my opponent, which sometimes happens, especially in this format. Maybe he was holding double blue spells, but my deck also performed really, really well. Even if I sometimes didn't have the lands, I kind of got there in the end. And I think that was because my curve was also just like really, really good. Yeah, the 2 Erebos Emissary were amazing, and the deck played out as expected, dominating the ground with Death Touch creatures, and then the late game was very, very powerful. I think the toughest matchup was actually the Flyers, but somehow my deck pulled out the win there as well. And I think I even won 2 games after having discarded due to mana problems against Arbor Colossus. So yeah, I guess this was a pretty good showing. Thanks for watching. I'm Simon Godson, recording for many years now, as Simon says, for mtgoacademy.com. Let me know in the comments what you think, what you like, and what you would like to see. And see you in 2 weeks. Bye bye.